to hello everybody and welcome to Talk to Trev. I hope you are receiving this out in YouTube land. I've got Tian with me. How's it going, man?
Well, thanks in yourself, bud. How you doing?
All good, man. All good. I'm so glad that we're doing this live, which is kind of freaky. At least I think it's there's about a 20-second delay or thereabouts. There we go. Hey, there we are. You look good, man. Look at you on screen and all. You look fantastic.
You as well, man. I checked that like a bass guitar there in the background, a little lava lamp.
Yeah, you've got to get some sort of ambiance going, eh?
You have to, definitely. Definitely, I do agree.
Tian, how's things, how's the world been and how's things going, man?
Well, it's been strange. I think for most musicians, this last year has been quite tough. I know a lot of my friends, they took up full-time jobs again. So the music industry is a bit weird. This COVID thing is taken us a bit from behind, if I can put it like that. But we're trying to have at it as best we can, I think.
Yeah, it's been a bit. We thought when this happened, is this going to be 1 year? I think it might be 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I also think the smaller stuff will start opening up, but for big things to open up to the capacity that we were used to, I also think it's going to be a couple of years before that will happen.
Yeah, I mean the music industry has suffered badly enough as it is. You know, it's unpleasant to say the least. Hey, Diva's in the chat. Hey, Diva, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Thanks for hooking me up with the man. Awesome. Okay, Tian, let's crack on, man. So how did all this start, this whole Tian journey? Because you were doing touring with bands, sound engineer, you were a rigger, and all that sort of stuff before you decided to, give it a go yourself.
Well, I've been playing guitar for quite a while. I think I started when I was 12 or 13 years old. So it's been 12, I don't even know how old I am. Been 13 or 14 years that I've been playing guitar. So I've always played. And then when I was still in school, I started just volunteering at the church doing sound, and got involved in a great company, Elephant Productions, that helped me to get into a lot of different places in the industry, going to Copy, going to H2Os and stuff like that, being a part of Art Club and any boss. And you start meeting a lot of cool people and doing a lot of cool things. And then sound went into lighting went into staging, that went into rigging. For me, just always flowed into it. And then at some stage, I just decided, I think it should be me on that stage one day. And I don't think it was ever going to be possible working at that stage. I think 6 or 7 days a week, every week for the entire time that I was working for that company. I was working ridiculously long hours like everyone else in the industry does. Yeah. If you're a sound engineer or rigger, you're used to doing 16, 18-hour shifts. And there's no time to play and be on stage when you're working those types of hours. So I just decided, I think it's time. Let's get into it.
It's actually almost easier being an artist than it is actually being a rigger or a touring guide or whatever. Not a touring guide, but a touring guy. Setting up stages. Yeah. I mean, screw that, man. No ways. Come on, get up on the center stage and do your thing.
I think that's a big misconception a lot of people have, is that it's easier work being an artist, but especially when you're starting out, you have to be your own admin person, your own booking agent. You still have to practice. You still have to spend time on the road, get venues. So you're still putting in your normal. Everyone's like, I've got a full day job. Like, yeah, musos as well. We do 8 hours of admin most days, and then we hit the stage, do a couple of sets, and then you head back home. Time on the road. When you're starting your career, while you're getting those clients, while you're busy making a name for yourself, I would say it's actually just as hard work as putting in 16, 18-hour shifts.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I mean, that's a fair point. So when did the realization happen? Like, that's it. I've just got to get onto that center stage now.
I think it's been 5 years since I started playing, 5 or 6 years since I started playing full time. I did a few gigs here and there when I was still doing sound, but then back then it would probably be 10 shows a year, which is nothing compared to what musos are able to do, or what we were able to do before COVID.
Yeah.
So about 5-6 years ago, I just went full out and just got into it.
Oh, okay. Good for you, man. Well done. I mean, was it a confidence thing, or was it like just hurtful with being perhaps stagnant, or was it just like, do something different, dare to dream, as it were?
I think it was more a dare to dream type of thing. It's always been a dream of mine, thinking it is possible for me to be on a stage and be, quite known for what I do. I wouldn't say I don't think anyone in the music industry, if you're a sound tech or whatever, you're ever really stagnant. There's always places to go in the industry, which is one of the reasons I chose to go into it in the first place. But I just felt like I can do this. I love what I do. I love doing sound as well, but I still had a passion I've always had a passion to play and write.
Do you find yourself
most important parts of it?
Yeah, sure. Do you find yourself more critical with sound because you've been that sound engineer guy?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm probably one of the worst artists to be around when you are on stage. Because if I'm in the crowd, I'm probably going to be behind the sound desk telling this guy how to do his job,
right?
Trying to make you sound better. So probably a good guy to have on your side. But if I get somewhere and someone's not sounding great, I am obviously a bit critical because you come from that background.
Sure. Is it hard to keep quiet in those instances, or do you just go for it?
I think my personality just leans more towards just going for it and telling people what I think. I've never been someone to keep my opinion to myself. It's probably not a good thing all the time.
Then surely you must have lots of funny stories from all the tours you've done then.
I think not really too much funny stories. There's a lot of... I've been in trouble quite a bit. That much I can say. Especially when I was still rigging. I was probably that one rigger in South Africa. I do not wear a harness when I'm in a roof or whatever. I'm not going to wear it. So
yeah, that's
if I fall, I fall. But,
that's not good. No.
It puts a couple of centimeters on your body. So when you're trying to get into small spaces,
right?
I'm already quite a biggish guy. So trying to maneuver in that is already difficult. And I would always have health and safety guys coming in there, making me climb out of the roof. Where's your harness? And I remember at one of the gigs at the SEC, he called me out. He didn't have his hard hat on and he didn't have safety boots on. So I clocked him on the forehead and I stepped on his toe and I told him, "Why are you in my venue without your safety gear?" And I kicked him out.
Wow.
I was in trouble for that one for quite a while. My bosses at that stage wasn't too happy, but it's one of those things, I guess.
Listen, safety is paramount, man. But I guess, when you're young enough, you're dumb enough too, right?
Yeah, I think I was already rigging some of the biggest stages in South Africa when I was 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
So I was already doing Aardklop and H2O and Afrikaans is Groot and things like that.
Okay.
By the age I was 19, so... Okay. Like you said, when you're young enough and you're dumb enough, you think nothing's going to kill you.
Where did this voice come from, man? Because I heard the single this week. Devo sent it out to me, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure. When you see a cover with two guys, you can see up in the top right hand corner there, the Hurt and Love cover. My first impression was like, okay, what are we dealing with here? And then I saw the promo photos. Like, okay, single guy, guitar, solo artist. Okay, this is gonna be some tearjerker kind of thing. And then I listened to the song, and I was like, now where does this deep? I almost swore. Where did that deep voice come from? And it's deep and it's dark. It's emotional. It's soul wrenching. Where did you just wake up one day and go, hey, there we go. There's the voice.
I think we all wish that we just wake up and have a voice that we want. To be quite honest, I don't even like listening to my own voice. I've always wanted to have a really, really high tenor vocal.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, I don't have that. But strangely enough, in high school, when I started singing choir, my voice was actually lower, in a lower register than it is now. So it was actually quite a bit of a building process to just get it up to a tone that's actually all right for the ear, not just sounding like a bass guitarist trying to do a solo for 13 minutes. But I've always had a bit of a raspy, loud vocal. If you hear me playing live, I think a lot of the rawness out of the vocal comes because I'm always singing quite loudly, if I can put it like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you're correct. Yeah, in the chat we've got Devo says, "Wow, look at the size of that mug." Which one, Devo? Are you talking about? You're talking about Tian's or mine?
This meneer of a coffee mug I have.
Is that coffee that's in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I prefer
I
my.
drink
I prefer my
a
one.
couple of these. I do as well, but it's it's a weekday.
Oh, come on, jeepers! You're an artist. There's no such thing as a non-drinking day. No, I'm only kidding. It's a sensible person that you are. Michelle says, Tian Nienaber, up and coming. Watch this space. Absolutely, Michelle. The new single, is absolutely beautiful. And I did a review for the single, and I have to say, I was caught unawares when I did it, and I said to Diva, I'm not sure if I'm saying enough about the song, because I mean the review is about a minute and a half. I don't want to obviously do the whole 3 minutes or 4 minutes, however long the song is, and there were moments when I paused and I was just like listening, because it was my second time listening to it, because with the new song you want to listen to it a couple of times and sort of let it set in, but I was trying to catch almost like a live reaction kind of thing, and I was just like pausing. I was like tapping my headphones, like, listen to that. That's, So I don't know if we're going to go with that review. We might do another one, but I'll tell you what, there's something about the vocals. Like I said, it's like soul wrenching, and I've actually written them down. And I said, there's hurt in there somewhere, and there's emotionally, there's something in that song. And then I read through the bio. Okay, you know where this is going, right? And we don't have to.
Yeah.
we don't have to talk about it, but we can just skim it if need be. But it was during lockdown.
I'm open to the hard conversations. I'm always open to have the hard conversations. Let's have that.
Okay, cool. So during lockdown, you thought you had to do it's a 24 songs or 21 songs in 21 days kind of thing?
Yeah, 21 songs in 21 days. I must say that's probably one of the most difficult challenges I've ever put myself through. But I got a lot of great content out of it. I'm busy planning up a EP, and all of the English content that I wrote for that album is out of that 21 songs. There's here and there a bit of a quick revision on it, but most of it was, I took one day, I sat that entire day like hurting love. I took a piece of paper, took a guitar. I finished that song exactly like it is right now in that day. I didn't work on it extra or more after that day. So just that one day, pushing it emotionally, giving everything you've got, letting yourself feel everything. I think that's one of the most important parts for me about writing is you have to let yourself feel. You have to go into that dark space. If you're feeling something bad, you have to go into that. You have to go ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Towards whom am I feeling this? And you have to put it out there.
Yeah. And you said something about got all your English material. So I take it this is going to be a mixed language album or EP or what's happening?
Yes. So when I started writing, my first song I wrote when I was 12, that's going to be on the EP as well. It's probably one of the songs my fans know the most. It's called Hemelpoort.
When you were 12?
Yeah, that's when I started writing.
Jeepers, man.
Well, that's also when I started playing, because when I was 12 years old, my best friend in school at that time, she made me promise, listen here, dude, you need to learn how to play the guitar. And I said, yeah, definitely, we're best friends. I'll definitely learn how to play. I'll jam with you. And then a few weeks later, she committed suicide.
Oh.
And I wrote this song for her. And that's where my journey started. That's where I saved up, bought my first guitar,
Wow.
and I've been writing and playing since.
Jeepers, 12 years old.
Yeah, I must say
Wow.
it's always unfortunate thinking back on that, but there's a lot of people, a lot of children in this world that are struggling, and we don't think. I think for a lot of adults, we don't think, okay, this child is 12 years old. How bad can it really be? How
Yeah.
bad can they really be feeling?
Oh,
I
it can
think
be
that's a
bad.
difficult
Yeah.
conversation of something else. That's something people don't like talking about.
Yeah.
But it is something that I feel needs to be talked about a lot more.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head there, because today I was playing with my 9-year-old. I was playing Minecraft with her, and we were mucking about. She was upstairs in a room and I was down here. And she fell in lava and lost all her goodies. And, she was like, no. And she's the one person that I would count on to not, fall into lava. And I laughed. And she got upset with me. And I was like, why are you getting
Yeah.
upset with me? And I had to say to myself 3 or 4 times, she's only 9 years old, mate. Calm down. She's only 9. And as an adult, sometimes we forget to think on that level, that they haven't processed the brain hasn't grown, and they can't think, like an adult, and sometimes we lose touch with that. And I think that's an important thing to point out to a lot of adults out there, that these are kids, and there's a lot of them that need a lot of help. And don't treat them like an adult. Treat them like a kid, and love and tender. Jeepers.
Like you said, the mentality towards processing what you're feeling at a young age hasn't been developed yet.
Correct. Yeah.
So I think as a human being, you always have the same type of emotions. Doesn't matter how young, or you can always feel the exact same things. You just don't know how to process it. Now, imagine you were half the size and you still got as angry as you got today. Like you, this 1 meter tall, and all that anger is in this little body. How are you going to try to control that? That's how I think it must be for a lot of kids. All this hurts, because there's a lot of people that go through a lot of bad things. And how do you process it as a child?
No,
Especially
exactly.
in an environment where you don't have parents to talk to, or a brother or sister or someone to talk to, then how are you going to get through that?
Yeah, there is a lot of anger out there, and there's a lot of circumstances that can lead to a lot of anger, and we won't go into those now. I mean, we all know what those situations are, and it's a heavy subject, but we are going to keep on the heavy now, Tian. I've got to ask the questions. You said something about addiction in the bio. We don't have to go into depth about that, but I think it will lend itself well to when the single comes out. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I've always been, from a young age, I've struggled with addiction on quite a few substances. We'll not go into that because that might take a while, but
sure.
There's been a bit of rough patches when it comes to that. And I took what I thought. So that day that I decided to write Hurting Love, I gave myself the challenge. I must take someone close to me. So I took my mom specifically, and I thought, how do I think my mother sees me while I'm in active addiction? How much must it hurt? So if you listen to the lyrics, then it says, I'm the kind of love it hurts to look at. Imagine the pain a mother must feel seeing her child struggling through this, because everyone thinks addiction's another thing people don't like talking about, but it is a difficult thing for anyone in it. Anyone that's been there, they know it's a difficult thing to be in, even more difficult to get out of. So imagine the pain for a mother or a loved one, anyone that cares for a person in active addiction, how they must be feeling. And for me, I always thought that everyone around me, they must struggle to look at me. They can't look me in the eyes, and that's basically what I wrote the song about.
Okay. Wow. That's why I said immediately when I heard the song, I was like, there's hurt in there somewhere in the song. And hearing you say that does lend itself very well to the single. So the people that are watching this that have not heard the single, it's coming out the 10th of September. Keep an eye out on the socials. Everything is in the description below. You guys can click on all the socials for Tian and like, love, share, care, do whatever you need to do to help Tian out and everything like that. So besides all of that, let's get into the happier side of things. Tell me all about Peach.
Oh, what a guy! What an experience. um, so I work with a company that does all my copyright called Stain IP. And while I was busy talking to the owner, Christian, about, listen, I think it's time. I need to release something. Because Hurting Love's going to be my debut single. So I've never released anything. I've never recorded anything. I'm busy getting prices everywhere, having chats, things like Peach van Pletzen is one of my clients. I think we must arrange a meeting, go meet him, have a bit of a chat, and then take it where it goes. And when I chat, I sent him through the ideas that I have for the EP, because Hurting Love is going to be part of the EP as well. I sent him through all the songs, and just his reaction and his excitement about the songs drew me towards going with him as producer. And then from the first moment we got into studio, there was just, this guy is so talented, and he's just a joy to be around. He always makes you laugh. But his pride in his work and his professional. No, I can't even speak.
You're too excited. That's the thing.
Exactly. Yeah, he's just a pro. He's really professional. Like, we went into studio, we had a chat, and every time I told him, I think we should change this, he's like, yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at it, change that up a bit. And every time we did something, at some point we just said, let's not try to do anything more. We think this track is perfect. And I really do think, because I'm used to listening to the song acoustically, because all of my music I write just with myself in an acoustic. I record the demo at home and I send it to Peach and he has listened to it. So I still had that in my head. And then when I came in to do the vocal track, I was just like, the work that's been put into this single is just phenomenal. This guy is a genius.
It shows. It shows. Again, in my review, I said it's produced by Peach van Pletzen, and damn, is it beautifully done. That's exactly what I've written down here when I was going through the review. And it is beautifully done, because your vocals they're not lost. They're not in the background. They're right in the forefront. And you've got such a deep, it's almost like a smoker's kind of voice, if I can say that, like a scratchy, growly, dude, you could rock big time.
Yeah, I think that's something every artist should look at, is to find that balance of where you want to be in the mix. I know for myself personally, I feel like my vocal tells a lot of the story. So my vocal has to be one of the lead instruments in the track. So it has to be out there quite a bit more than I think a lot of artists would like their stuff to be. But for me, that just works. Having the vocal presence there the whole time, hitting you. Otherwise you're not going to feel. I want the people to feel what I'm feeling. I want the song to open up that difficult conversation for a lot of people.
And it does. It certainly does. It definitely made me feel. So really, congratulations, man. I can't wait for you guys to hear it, man. It's going to be, it's such a good song. So 10th of September, it's coming out. Okay. Your first single. You said earlier something about an EP. When any plans on that? When that's going to come out, or what's going to be on it?
Well, the first thing is, now we're waiting for gigs to get back up to. And like any of us would know, bringing out an EP is quite an expensive thing to do. Especially, I want to have the EP made by Peach as well. So that's going to cost quite a bit of money. So I'm working on it, saving up. I do all these Facebook live shows,
right,
once or twice a month, where all the donations just go straight into the EP account.
Right.
So we're starting with the next song next month. So it's going to be Himmelpoort, the first song that I wrote. That's going to be next. So like I said previously, it's going to be Afrikaans and English. I don't want to lend myself out as a specific genre, specific language.
Yeah.
I don't think music should be, well, for me, I don't feel my music is just like, this is the box.
Yeah.
I'm here. I've never been. That's why I know in South Africa, especially, if you bring out your first single and it's Afrikaans, you're going to struggle to get out of the Afrikaans market.
Well, that's it.
That's why I chose to come out with this English one first, and then bring Afrikaans into it, because it just, I know Tian Nienaber is already an Afrikaans name, but just getting that first English one out there and making sure it comes out with a bang. Music video, I got Diva Graphics doing the PR, doing an amazing job. So I think this one's going to be the start of something cool.
Yeah, well, like Peach said, this is definitely going to be a road in the right direction. That's for sure, because it is really good, and I'm going to keep harping on it until the day that it comes out. So I look forward to when I can play it on my shots on my radios, on the radio station on Berg Studio, and also going to be on the new music show on Super Radio as well when it comes out on that day on the 10th. Definitely going to be on there. Shows and gigs. Okay, so you're doing Facebook Live every so often. What is the situation with the gigs and so on?
It's starting to come in again. Unfortunately, every time we get put into a lockdown where venues have to close down, it is going to take all of the venues, 4 to 8 weeks before they generate enough money to be able to bring in artists again. So let's say now this last lockdown was 4 weeks, so there's 4 weeks of us not being able to do gigs, but it's going to be another 4 to 8 weeks before venues kick into full action again. I think we've been open now for 2 or 3 weeks again. I've only played 2 shows, where I'm used to doing five shows a week. So it's getting there. I'm very grateful for every opportunity I get to be on stage, especially now before the single. I'd like to hammer on it and get a lot of people.
Absolutely, get that promo stuff going. Plug it as much as possible.
But like I said, it's coming in. Shows are coming in, which I'm thankful for. I've got 2 this weekend, so that's
where they're happening.
It's great.
Let the people know.
I'm playing at the Willow Tree in Pretoria North on Saturday from 3 to 5. Then we're all going to watch the rugby together, and then I'm going to hit a last set to get everyone pumped before we leave. And then Sunday, I'm at Red Barn Cafe in Irene from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. It's also a lekker one for the family. Bring your dog. There's like a walking route. You can go for a hike and have a pizza and a beer.
Nice. And is that all on your socials as well?
All on my socials, I'm sure they are on.
Okay,
if they're
guys,
not, they will be on tomorrow.
So everything in the description below, guys, down below there, you'll see that there is a link to all of Tian's socials, as well as to the PayPal email address if you want to make a donation. And all of that goes directly to the making of the EP. So if you want more music, you know what you got to do. Right, let's talk about gear. So you started playing guitar around about 11, 12, thereabouts?
Yeah, around about then.
Okay, what are you playing on at the moment? Or what did you start off with? Let's go there. Because I think that'll be rather... And do you still have it? That's the question. Oh, look at this. There we go.
Yes, she is. I don't even make this. It's still got the stickers here on the fretboard telling me which is which.
Yeah, we're all going to start somewhere, man. I mean, I used to have that on my guitar as well. So
this is a trilogy guitar. I don't even know where it's from, what country made it, who made it, whatever. I bought it back in 2007, 2008, somewhere there, for $750. It's got a built-in pickup, everything. The guitar case cost more than the guitar. I still have it.
Are you gonna hoard all your guitars that you get in your life? You're gonna like keep all of it going, or you're gonna sell some off? Or
no, I've sold, like, over the years. I buy new guitars and get rid of them, or if the tone's not nice. But there is a bit of sentimental value to this one, so I'll always keep it. And then here to my left, I've got a Chord Parkwood that I bought. They discontinued the Parkwood series. Got great pickups in them. I just added an extra mic and some new Grover locking machine heads. Then here I've got a Seagull, the handmade Canadian guitars, and I must say the golden pickups they put into those little things are amazing.
Nice.
So I try to not. I'm happy with 3 guitars at once.
I was just going to ask, how many do you have? Only 3 at the moment. Come on, that's not good enough.
Only 3. No, I don't.
No, you lie. There's a little ukulele behind you over there on your right, and on your left behind you there's a really small looking Strat.
Yeah, I got this was my Black Sabbath Strat.
There we go. You see, you can rock, folks. That's it.
Yeah. I used to play just like when I was in school, high school. I had an old Fender with a Fender Frontman 2x12 amp. You know, those things, gooi. And I was just playing like hard rock, 3 Days Grace. I had a Afrikaans rock band called Afwesig because none of the bandmates ever pitched up for rehearsal. So we just had that. And then we had this band called Sanguinary Dreams at some stage where it was just like hard rock / metal that we played. The vocalist couldn't sing. He was just screaming. We just muted the mic at some point because we got cut full of this oak. But you know, I've played a bit of everything. I've played classical, played jazz, I've played rock and roll, played metal.
Nice.
Over
the
years,
you remind me of Reino Taron from Truth Decayed. When I first did a podcast with him, it was all this lovely slapping guitar and all that sort of stuff. When I was and he mentioned he was in a metal band, I was like, come on, not a chance. And there you go. He's proved me wrong.
I was watching your podcast with him earlier today. I think you guys did that last year, June somewhere.
A second one,
Yeah. I told you I watched your show.
That's kind of weird, man. I don't think anybody watched my stuff, but anyway, thank you all the same, man. It's kind of weird. We got a couple of messages here, man. Who's Ty? Tian Nienaber.
Ty, that's my brother's wife.
Okay, the sister-in-law. Hey Ty, how's it going?
Exactly.
Michelle looks like a big fan, man. That's great stuff. Who needs to pay for therapy if we have music as an outlet? Absolutely. Looking forward to hear your own stuff and words, Tian. Yeah, just wait, Michelle. I'll tell you what. If you haven't heard it, I'm surprised because I bet Tian's like gagging to get it out to everybody. Believe me, it's a great single. Yeah. And then who's Marcel?
That's my brother.
That's your bro. Okay, that's it, bud. I love you, bro. There we go. My eyes are actually not deceiving me. Nice one, Marcel. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Man, it's awesome to have your company here. Well, dude,
subscribe on Trev Talk as well, guys. Everyone watching, subscribe on Trev Talk.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm sure I'll be back. I'll be back for another podcast.
Yeah, well, when your EP is ready, most definitely gonna happen, man. Is there anything funny that's ever happened to you on stage? Like fallen off? Oh God, no! Don't, if you're thinking that long, then there's problems.
Yeah, there's a lot. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff has happened because I've played in some dodgy bars in my life.
Right.
Like when I was just starting out, there was a lot of bars that I played in Valhalla and stuff. It's these small bars. There's a lot of strange things happen. I've been on a couple of stages where, as I try to step on stage, you just walk right through it. As soon as your foot's on it, you through the stage. Or there's just a lot of random stuff. I've had venues where I have to go play, and then there's one guy sitting at the bar, and then at your fifth song, he's just like turning around and asking you to be quiet because he's trying to watch the news or something. There's always something strange.
I think
one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things to do is I just sit at a venue and watch what people, I get to venues sometimes, then there'll be couples sitting there throughout my 3-hour show. The only times they put down their phone and talk to each other is when they're having their meal, that's something that's weird to me. I always find that quite funny. And people are strange things just overall.
I don't know if it's people. I think it's the technology that's made people strange. I think that's what it is. It just seems very strange. And I mean, I grew up in an era when, we didn't have internet and we didn't have cell phones. And, I'm nearly 50 years old. And what I've seen so far in this world is just ridiculous.
Yeah. I was watching other podcast with Ed Sheeran on it the other day, and he said he's quite a big believer. He doesn't charge his cell phone in his room. When he wakes up for the first hour or two, he doesn't want to be close to any technology. You know, he has his coffee, has his breakfast. You have some time for yourself first, and then you go to go do your work. You go into social media and whatnot.
Do you think that that is a case of somebody whose bank balance far outweighs all of ours combined together, that doesn't need to worry about social media and things like that? Because if I had his millions, I don't think I'd worry at all.
Yeah, I think we all have to take a step back from social media, and I'm also trying to scale it down a bit, because you get a bit lost into it. Especially now with social media and media itself just being mostly negative at this stage, I find that a lot of more people are feeling depressed and feeling down the last let's say the last 18 months than prior to that, before this whole corona thing.
Yeah.
And that's just because of social media. It's all you're getting all this constant bad news, especially in a country like South Africa, where crime, corruption, all of that is so big. You have to take a step back, and you have to take time to do things that make you feel better. Spend time with the family, and have a braai. You don't have to sit and watch what other people are doing on Facebook or Instagram the whole day, every day.
Yeah.
It's something that I've always had a problem. You know, I was like, I go on my phone. Have I got a new like? No, not yet. Why not? And then you feel bad. I think as an artist trying to get somewhere, I've fallen into that trap where I'm like, all right, cool. It's I need to reach this milestone, and then when I don't get there, you know, you get a bit sad. And I've tried to just pull back a bit, not be on socials as much. And I think social media overall just also damps your creativity a lot. So I've found whenever I'm not on socials as much, I'm a lot more creative. I get to write more. I get to play more. I just make more music when I'm not on socials, when I'm not sitting in front of the TV all day. You know, there's so much more you can do instead of being behind a device.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I agree. I've been at my wife, I call her the warden because she always keeps me in check, but I'm always on the warden. We're saying to her, are you on your phone again when we go out somewhere? It's like, really? You know, we're at a restaurant and you're going to take a photograph of your food and post it up to say you're doing something. Why don't you actually just do it instead of taking a photograph of it? I mean, really. Yeah. You know, I went to the toilet today. Would you like to see that? No? Okay, well then why would I want to see what's on your plate of food? You know, come on now, let's be realistic here, okay? Oh, my word, I tell you, I don't know. Yeah, I think technology is and not so much technology, but social media can be such a huge part in someone's career, like yours. Not so much mine. I'm kind of like whatever, you know. I'm in a very fortunate position to, like, you know, it's not the be all and end all that I have to do this. I still like doing it, but yeah, I think posting on social media about your personal stuff is a very dangerous place to be, and I think a lot of people need to just stop, put their phone down, and actually go outside and look and be in the sun for 5 minutes and breathe some fresh air rather than sitting behind a keyboard and tapping away. Just my 5 cents worth, folks. You can take it with any grain of salt that you want, or none at all. I'm not really bothered. You can tweet about it if you'd like to. Don't forget to put my Talk to Trev podcast link in your post. Thanks. Spread the word and all of that. But yeah, dude. You know, I was going to say that the new track, "Hurt and Love," is really, really cool. It's really, it tugs at the emotions perfectly, and you have such a unique voice, and it's, I for one would love to hear you do something rocking, and I hope in the EP that comes there will be something there, whether it's in Afrikaans or English, I don't care. I'm just saying, I would like to hear you do something rocking. So maybe in the album after the EP, but. You know, can we persuade you to do something rocking in the next one, or whatever, in the album or something?
The EP is set out. So the EP it's a lot of the Afrikaans stuff is it's orchestra driven, the Afrikaans music.
Sure.
And then the other 2 English tracks that I'm doing for the EP is like folk blues type of thing.
Nice.
But I definitely want to do some rock, because I do enjoy some good rock and roll music. I always have. And I'm always the guy, I'm playing Beatles, Led Zeppelin. I'm playing that at my gigs.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I definitely, there will be something rock and roll in the future. I've got a couple of songs that I am working on that I do want to take into that direction. So I hope
Okay. Cool, man.
in the next few songs there will be a lacquer rocking one for everyone. That's, like I said, I don't want to stick to one genre.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to pigeonhole
don't-
yourself. Yeah, no, you can't. Music cannot be confined into one little spot. You know, you've got to explore and dare to be different.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree.
I just want to just touch on your influences. You're talking about rock and metal and so on when you were growing up. And give me your top 10 bands that you like. Go on, this is going to be a tricky one.
It's extremely tricky, because like I always said, at my gigs, like the first album I ever got was my dad had this Best of Don Williams album lying around
Right, okay.
to listen to a lot. And then after that album, I found an Afro Man album. That's already worlds apart.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I think I listened to some weird stuff. Everyone listened to Linkin Park at that stage. I did as well. Loved it. Still do. Still play some of their songs at my gigs. But I was listening to Slipknot and Slayer and stuff like that when I was in primary school.
Right, yeah.
And then I got into stuff like 3 Days Grace and Stained and things like that in high school. It started chilling down a bit. But the last couple of years, I love Chris Clafford. He's a Swedish singer-songwriter. Amazing vocal. If you listen to his music, that's the type of vocal I wish I had.
Right.
So big Chris Clafford fan. Jack Soveretti, Billy Raphael. There's a country singer-songwriter called John Moreland. I think, for me personally, he's probably the best writer that I've heard in quite a few years. So if you like singer-songwriter stuff, that's something to check out.
Okay.
But that's the type of music I listen to at this stage. But
I was going to ask you, do you do any Credence Clearwater Revival? Because you and John Fogerty, man, could be blood brothers.
Yeah, I do a lot of CCR. Love that band as well. Also one of my all-time favorite bands. I don't know if people don't like the Eagles. I don't know.
I love the Eagles, man. Eagles. I love the Eagles.
I play Hotel California and Lying Eyes and Tequila Sunrise. It's music that I love, and I love the band live. I do a lot of their music as well.
Do you know how the Eagles got the song Lying Eyes, how they came up with that song? They were all sitting
no idea.
They were sitting in a cafe in California somewhere or wherever they were at the time. In LA or whatever, and we was Glenn Frey. He was sitting at the counter with the other dude, the drummer. He's the drummer now, I forget. But anyway, and they're sitting there, and he looks up at this girl sitting with this old man, and he looks at her and he just mumbles to the other guy, "You can't hide those lying eyes." And she was cheating on the old boy. And that's exactly where they came up with the song. Now, the inspiration for that, how does that little gold nugget just drop up out of the sky? And there you go, you've got a song. How does it come to you?
I've got about Christian Baardman. He says there's two types of ways that you can write a song. You can either, he calls it puking and shitting. So sometimes with the shitting one, it takes time and effort. You have to work at it. Or there's sometimes it just comes.
Yeah.
And I think for most people that write, it's kind of like that. I must say, for me personally, most of my songs come out and I have most of it done within an hour or two.
Wow.
And then it's revision. And then, like, I think Hurting Love, like I said earlier, it took 1 or 2 hours. And then I left it. I left the lyrics. I came back, revised it, changed a couple of words here and there, grabbed the guitar. I think if you take the actual time that I put into it, 3 hours for lyrics, composition, music, everything, and it was done. And most of my songs are like that. It only takes me 2 or 3 hours to write it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me, that's just something that works.
Well, you're
But
in
I
the you're
think
in the
also,
form of your life, mate. Let me just tell you, because if you keep writing songs like "Hurt and Love," you're on some sort of rich vein or form. So keep at it, man. Keep writing those tunes. Yeah,
yeah, I think that's important. Like Ed Sheeran always says, he's like, you have to write a certain amount of songs before the good ones start coming. And I watched this podcast I watched a lot of these songwriting sessions and stuff. And a lot of these guys say, like, you'll have 1 out of every 100 songs that are actually going to be worth something.
right.
So for any artists out there watching, or whoever, if you're writing, you're going to have to write a shitload of music before you get something that's
Yeah,
going to make it, something
yeah,
that you're happy with. And for me, that's the same. I write hundreds of songs before I pick one that I'm happy with and
yeah.
go
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
absolutely. Well, I mean, if you're starting out with "Hurt and Love," you're doing it right. I'm looking forward to hearing the very first song that you wrote, man. I'll tell you what, and that's coming out in the EP at some point. Not just yet, but at some point. But if anybody's watching, and you are, there's a whole bunch of Robert Hack. How you doing? Jude's, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you guys, in the description below is all the links to all of Tian's stuff. You know what to do. Just get on there, click like, love, share, care, and there's a link to the PayPal. You can, 10 Rand, 20 Rand, 50 Rand, it doesn't matter what it is. It all goes to Tian's EP that he's getting done with Peach van Pletzen. So, yeah, make it happen for him, man. That's how it works. And don't forget, he's got 2 gigs coming up this weekend. So make sure that you get there and get a couple of cold ones in. It looks like Rob is definitely going to be there and have one on Sunday for a cold one. I'll be disappointed if you only have one, Robert. I'd like to see a photograph with at least 3 or 4 going down. That's the way to do it. You got to do that with awesome music. Tian, dude, thank you so much, man. We're out of time. I usually try and keep it nice and short to keep it interesting for everybody. I mean, we could talk for hours, it feels like. But if you ever come down to Cape Town, man, give a brother a shout and let's maybe get together and have a couple of beers and talk off air. Talk about the real things.
Then you can hear all the stories that I can't share.
All the
with
gossip,
world,
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so guys, so 10th of
Thanks so
September.
much for having me, Trev.
It's an absolute pleasure, Tian, man. 10th of September on all digital platforms. Hurt and Love is coming out. Everything will be in the description below. Like I said, all the links, so go and do your thing. Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me. Tian, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Devo Graphic, thank you so much, brother, for sending Tian my way. And I look forward to that new tune, man. It's for the 10th of September for release day. It's going to be epic, brother.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for having me.
That's an
Everyone,
absolute pleasure.
hit subscribe here on Talk to Trev. And I'll see you guys again.
That's it, you legend, Roo.